Hi there, this is Deane from AI Masters Dojo, your AI coach. And in this video, I would like to talk to you about how AI is shaping business and why you should even care. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Now, how is AI reshaping business and why you should even care? I wanted to give you my opinion of it with a little bit of an influence from some of the big influencers within the industry, such as Sam Altman and so forth. But this is mostly based around my experience. Having worked with AI and businesses for the last several years, helping them implement AI into their companies and into their organizations. So there's going to be far less stats and so on and so forth. It's going to be more about the practical experiences that I've had rolling AI out into several organizations. The reason why I have a image of, let me get the fingers right, an image of the Industrial Revolution, because we are going through another large revolution right now. It's probably going to be one of the biggest that we've ever seen to disrupt more people than what it has ever done so before. The reason why I've got the image there is because the best way to see what's going to happen into the future is to look back in history as to what happened. And why wouldn't we look at another revolution which did displace a lot of job roles in the past? And that revolution was basically the Industrial Revolution. Let's take a look. Back in the Industrial Revolution, we had factories that rolled out assembly lines. Now, just like in this image, we had the Model T Ford factory where you'd have a car coming down the assembly line, and then you'd have one person basically take one wheel and put it on one corner of the car. You then have another person take another wheel and put it on the other corner of the car, and so on and so forth, and then the car would go down the assembly line. Now, we increased our efficiencies by doing that. Over time, we then had robotics which came in. So now I could have one person looking after four robots. So basically, I'd have a robotics engineer that would be able to look after four robots, each putting the wheel on the car, therefore making it more cost effective to produce the car and even faster in some cases. But the thing to remember here is it wasn't the robot that displaced those jobs off the assembly line. It was the robotics engineers that displaced those jobs off the assembly line because they knew how to build and maintain those robots. Where nowadays, if you look at the Tesla factory, it's even hard to find a human on the floor. So when we're looking at AI, we should start thinking about it in exactly or very similar way, where we become the engineers of AI, fully capable of being able to create individual AI assistants to assist us in all of our different job roles. Just like we had the robots that would put the wheel on each corner of the car, we would have individual assistants to help us in our tasks. What I'm saying is that you become what I'd like to call an army of one, right? Where you are doing your work with the assistant of your own personal AI assistants in the background, being able to help you out in all of your individual tasks. So let me show you a demonstration or an example of how this might look in real life. In this example, I'm going to suggest that I am a salesperson or a BDM. And one of the job roles of a salesperson that does consume a lot of time is the preparation of a sales proposal. Now, in this instance, all I'm doing is I'm creating an email with a summary of a meeting. Now, this meeting could be a Zoom recording with a transcript or an AI overview of what was discussed in the meeting. And I'm just going to email this to all of my assistants to help me build that proposal. Now, bearing in mind, this process used to take me around 2 to 3 weeks. So let's see this in action. So I'm just sending the email off, and it's going to be captured by my reception assistant, who's then going to pass it on to the BDM to write an executive summary about the company that I've been talking to and do some online research about it. I've then got a data entry person or a data entry assistant that'll enter that data into my CRM. I've then got a BDM who will also come up with the objectives. And after we've got the objectives, I've got a product specialist that'll go through my products and services and see which products and services I have that will best fit the objective of the customer. Then I've got a business analyst that'll work out whether or not this is a good ROI and what the benefits are against those objectives. I've then got a BDM then to also, or a data analyst to work out the pricing. And then I've got a QA person. And as you can see, this automation goes so quick that I can hardly even keep up with it. But it goes off to eventually get the proposal written. It then also goes to an AI assistant to help me draft out a video script to be used to shoot a video which is a summary of the entire proposal, so my clients don't even need to read it. Now, would you like to see this in action? Of course you do. So let's go to the next slide. And this is the cover page that AI helped me produce. So if I click the button to start reading the proposal, like so, there is the video that was created, which I'll get back to shortly. We've got the executive summary, the goals and the objective of the business. My BDM picked out the Chief AI Officer as a service that I offer as a good fit. This is the benefits they'll get from having a Chief AI Officer based against the objectives that have been presented by the client. Got the action plan on how we're going to execute it, and then we have the investment on how much this is going to be, and the ROI. As you can see there, we're going to be saving around 500 hours per year.
Hi, Pantelis. This is an avatar of Ted here to quickly summarise this proposal.
Overview.
The Chief AI Officer role is designed to seamlessly integrate AI into your organisation, driving innovation, enhancing efficiency, and providing a competitive edge in the market. By strategically overseeing AI initiatives, the Chief AI Officer will ensure that your business not only keeps pace with technological advancements, but also leverages them for maximum benefit.
So I think you get a rough idea without having to play the entire video, but that basically summarises the entire proposal that I'm about to send, or I'm sending to the client in this case. Now that video is actually a video avatar of me. It's not the real me. Just to note. So that is the proposal. Hope you enjoyed looking at that. But if you were to look at me, if I was in the same job role as what you were, and let's say I was a salesperson competing against you, and I have a core proficiency on using AI, and I'm competing against someone who doesn't, then most or a lot of people tend to agree that I would be a really difficult person to compete against performance-wise. I mean, for example, that proposal would normally take me about 2 to 3 weeks to produce without all of my assistants helping me out, which has then won me back all of that time to be able to do more important things to generate more work. In actual fact, it actually allows me to be more human with the clients because I've got more time to interact with them as a human, which is something that AI can't do. But it means that I'll be extremely difficult to compete against. So imagine if you had an organization that looked like this. So you're a business owner or you're an executive leader, and your organization suddenly currently looks like this. Could you imagine how hard it would be to compete against a company that looks like this, where everybody within the organization has that core competency on using AI? Or basically, you're competing against a company where all of their staff, with their core competency of AI, have the ability to create their own, what I like to call armies of one, where they're almost like their own individual business units, and they're almost like CEOs of their own business units, creating their own fleet of staff to help them out. Just imagine how hard that would be to compete against. The good thing is, at the moment, only 4% of organisations within Australia and New Zealand are actually proactively starting to train their staff in AI. In other countries, it's a little bit higher. It's around the 7% mark, and there's plenty of resources on the internet that you can look at from that. So basically, if this has resonated any thought to you, I guess an action plan from here would be to go, well, how do I start training all my individual staff on having a core competency on being able to use AI in their job roles? just like they've got a core competency on using AI, like Word and Excel and PowerPoint. They're core competencies that we pretty much expect from anyone in our organisation. AI should also start being put on that list. And the advantage here is you'd be an early adopter because only 4% of organisations within Australia and New Zealand have started doing that. So I guess I'll leave you with one last thought, which is, well, which pill do you want to take? Do you want to be the company that can compete or the one that can't? I'll leave you with that thought. I hope you've enjoyed the video. There's links in the description below for some more information. But otherwise, I hope you've enjoyed the video and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.